Good afternoon, everybody. What's going on? Happy Monday or Tuesday. I'm forgetting what day it is. How's everybody doing today? What's up, everybody? Or should I say, what's down? And the answer would be everything. Everything is down. Literally everything is down except for Apple, which is flat. Trying to correct my hat, including my hat. My hat is down. Let's share my chart and let's take a look at the overall markets. Start with Reddit. Reddit is down. AMD is down. SoundHound is down. SMH is down. S&P is down. All the cryptocurrencies are down. Bitcoin is down. But you know what's up? That's right. SOX is up. SOX is up. All right. But anyways, I'm like out of it. All right. Hello. Happy Tuesday. My name is Lawton here. We're here with Verified Investing, and welcome to the Verified AMA, where I go live every single day the markets are open, and sometimes when they're not, from 12:30 to 1:15 to answer your questions. If you like this type of content, if you enjoy this, I would ask you to consider giving this a like and hitting that subscribe button on YouTube, subscribing to us to Verified Investing on YouTube. It really helps the algorithm. It really helps Gareth and everyone know that you enjoy this type of content from me and others. Anyways, the way this works is you can ask me questions. I'm going to give you answers. You can ask your questions by visiting exclusively by visiting the verifiedinvesting.com website or scanning the QR code down below. Scan that QR code and ask your question. I'll be answering these in the order in which they're asked, and I never have enough time to answer every single question. So if you want to get in here and make sure that your questions are getting answered, be sure again to hit that to scan that QR code and submit your question now. I see a bunch of people getting questions in, so let's just hop into it. Lynn saying, "Good morning, Lynn." Good morning, Lynn. Can you please give the levels of CNC and STLA? CNC is pulling back now. Did pop up from that beautiful downsloping trend line. Push up from a break of that downsloping trend line quite nicely. I would say that it's going to find some major resistance over here, which it did pull back from almost. There's a beautiful gap fill there, and that's approximately 4% higher. That's the first level that I see resistance. You have another one / pivot high over here, around 32.54. But what a run it's been on. What a run CNC has been on. Earnings obviously sucked. It basically tumbled in a straight line since then, so it's nice that it's getting this bounce, approximately 20% bounce. As far as STLA is concerned, Stellantis is trading in this beautiful wedge pattern that I do have. Breaking out of it now, I'm favoring another move higher. This is extremely powerful. The reason why I said it's powerful is because look at this on the right-hand side of my screen. Almost everything is green, right, except for Apple and SOX. And Apple is flat, right? Everything is down. But despite that, STLA still having a pretty good day, up about 3%. Nathan says, "Good morning, Lon." Good morning, Nathan. What do the charts say about IBM today? IBM looks bearish. Down move. Look at this. Classic down move. Bear flag. Down move. Bear flag. Now if it breaks this kind of upsloping trend line that we have now formed, kind of, right? If it breaks down from that, expecting another leg lower. I have support for IBM down here at this pivot low around 224.39, approximately 7% lower, but this is bear flagging to me. Derek says, good day, Mr. Long. Good day, Mr. Derek. Here's the natural gas chart to share and review. Thank you for submitting your chart. Let me go ahead and take a look at that. Okay, let's see. So TP, nice. This is natural gas. Using that gas, the spot. Okay. For me, I have this trading in this kind of a semi-wedge pattern. It's breaking up, bouncing, favoring a pierce. So if it can close below, I'm expecting a move lower. Probably at least 5% lower, basically to this gap fill here. Should it continue, you have another one here that could be interesting around $2.31. Izhar says, hello, upside target on stocks for a swing trade. My average long is 671. I'm looking for like $9, to be honest. But I just exited my day trade today for like a 10K gain-ish. Paul saying, hi, Lawton. Hi, Paul. Any thoughts on Expedia's chart, EXP? Expedia looks to be kind of like the opposite, kind of bull flagging, right? Had good earnings, came down, but then pushed up. Now this sideways consolidation, particularly down slipping, favors a move higher. Would not surprise me if we made new highs on Expedia. See Palantir, something I just got an alert on Palantir as you see down here. Ooh, Palantir just hit a gap fill. Look at Palantir go. Wow. Palantir's falling. Just hit that gap fill. Let's see if this would be a good day trade. Would have been a good day trade. It literally just pierced it. Let's take a look, guys. This is the day trading room, isn't it? Finally kissed it here. Finally pierced that gap fill. Let's see what type of bounce we can get off of that level. Now, if I was day trading this, I'd look for a move up at least $2, $1.75 to $2. So let's see if this day trade would have worked out. I just got an alert that Palantir did fill that gap. Remember this gap is down here around 65, excuse me. Pierced that and now bounce, had a small little baby bounce, right? Something interesting to note when you get into key levels like this, and I haven't checked this. If I turn on the volume, I'm expecting higher than normal volume spike. Let's see if I was right. I'm going to look dumb. I am right. Look at this. Huge volume spike. Huge, massive volume spike to take down everyone's stops at that beautiful gap fill. Look at this. Look at the huge volume spike right here at that gap fill. Then had a decent bounce, about a 60-cent bounce. But Palantir might actually be looking to go lower, but it's just so interesting that this level is so key. You saw was that gap fill in, and look how it worked. Volume spike, and then the move happens. We'll keep an eye on Palantir, but let me keep going on these questions. Mar says, thanks for the answers, Lawton. Of course, Mar, no problem. Yesterday I had a really bad connection, but heard the answers later. By the way, I'm Dutch, so excuse my French. No problem. Cool. Dutch. Nice. Amar says, I'm in the swing trader and options trader. Okay, thanks for being a part of our services. I'm out for over a year. Gareth frequently mentions in his daily videos that members ask me this or that. How do you message Gareth? How are these other members doing it? You can't message Gareth unless you're in the live day trading room. Yeah, pretty much. That's the only real like way you can directly talk to him, pretty much. Because we do have a chat in the live day trading room that he does read, but right now, like members are not sending him like charts or anything like that. It's just kind of a lot for him. Just the sheer amount of inquiries he would have, messages he already gets. And you saw this the first time it pierced this gap fill, incredibly strong. Then you get the move, but look, afterwards the level has been broken. The dams have already been opened wide, and take a look at this. Now price is continuing lower, just because this level of support was already broken. It took all this volume right here to get down into there. But look at this, the volume is still a decent levels of volume. Still decent. What's his technical questions? If you have a support trend line and a candle wick that pierces through that trend line, but the body does not, is that candle and its wick pierce the trend line the one we reference? Or need a candle? We need the candle. You need the body above, not just the wick. You need the body. Yusuf says, hi, Lon. Do you think there's going to be an altcoin season? If I had a crystal ball, I would tell you. Also, if I had a crystal ball, I wouldn't be here. I'd be in the casino playing roulette or something. But yeah. Jason says, can you look at Doge? Yeah, I'd be happy to. I just think this Palantir is so interesting. All right, let's take a look at Doge. Turn off this. This is messy, you know. All right. You have this beautiful down-sloping trend line. It retraced to, it broke, it pierced, it pushed higher, and then it came down, retraced, and then pushed 35% higher. Incredible movement on Doge. I think this Doge does look potentially bearish. It has this nice upsloping trend line that if it breaks, I think it's going 12 to 21% lower. That would be my target, to be honest. I think it's going down, but I could be wrong. Needs to break this. Wes is another technical question in the winning tree series and the multi. This is the third hit of ascending trend lines at 20%. Yeah, I think it's about 50%. Damn. Look at this fall in GEV. Jesus Christ. The reason why I'm saying Jesus Christ is because Gareth just made a lot of money on this trade. Oh my God. I'm going to show you something in our live day trading room you guys normally wouldn't be able to see. Oh my God. He made so much money. We made so much money in the live day trading room today, guys. Okay, I just got to show you guys this. The most disgusting P&L you've ever seen. This is what it looks like if you're on the back end. Looking at our, if you're in the front end, if you're a member of the live day trading room, this is what it looks like. You see our stats down here. Like, oh God. You see our stats. And you can send messages to our traders here. But you can see Gareth and I made a lot of money today. Gareth a little more money than I did. Gareth made 34,000. I made around 10K here and then 2K here. Gareth took 4.7K there. So definitely making some moves today. Absolutely incredible gains from both of us, both Gareth and I, today in the live day trading room. Um, this is on $1 million account, so that 50K is roughly 5%. 5% of our portfolio. We had 5% of our portfolio today, up 5% of our portfolio today. So not too shabby. Absolutely incredible stuff. I don't know what to say. It's insane. I just saw it hit coming close to that level. I was like, oh my God, we're going to make a crap ton of money. And a crap ton of money we made indeed. Incredible. Keith says, congrats on your stocks trade. Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate that. Jackie says, is Ethereum Classic good for jumping in now? Right now, no. I would say no. Of course, I can always be wrong. I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. No, I'm not interested in Ethereum Classic here. Had this nice upsloping trend line, similar as the Doge chart before. If it breaks down, I expect this to go like 10% lower. Microsoft Apollo says so is MSFD. Yeah, but that's an inverse ETF of Microsoft. MSFD is up only because Microsoft is down and Microsoft is absolutely collapsing. Yeah, it's tumbling. I think over here is the target. And 496 is my target for Microsoft. Brisky says, good afternoon, Lon. Stocks and VXX is up. It is up. They are up. Nino says, hi, Lon. Would you take this day? Do you day trade this OKLO long? Let's check this out. OKLO. Yeah, this OKLO. I don't see your day trade. What's your level at? 63.55. It's gap window. Yeah, that's a fine level. I mean, I think you could get a bounce there. I'd like for 61.21, but granted, that's quite a ways away. That's an additional 3-ish, 4-ish% from your level. But yeah, I definitely think from OKLO could get a bounce at 63.50. All right. We got to get some energy back. All right, let's wake up, everybody. Mars says, hi, Lon. There's bullish divergence on the hourly chart on Solana. God. Incredible movement. But everything is going funny today. So what is your opinion for SOL? Yeah, I just wait for Bitcoin to move. However, I do, my eyes automatically pull this in. Like my brain has some weird psychological issues where I only see patterns when I see a chart. This kind of pseudo wedge that it's trading in. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 on each. So let's see as this wedge gets tighter what it does. It's down sloping, so that means Solana favors a move higher. But the question is how much and when. Patel says, could you please check Duolingo? Absolutely. Is it good price to enter for a swing trade? A good price, I would enter at 322. That's my entry on Duolingo. 322 if it came down there. Lukeman says, good morning, Lon. Good morning, Lukeman. Have a short position on BURL. Okay. Burlington. Okay. At 232. Wow. A short at 232. You're shorting at 232, or you have a small position at 232. It's not a great place to short. You're out of the money 20%. I would add, I guess, here at this gap fill at 287. At least bring your average up a bit. You never really want to let these positions get out of the money this much. You want to add to your positions because even if you added, you wouldn't have gone out. But yeah. Dang. Yeah, that's what I do. PPLT Donegan says looking shortable. PPLT, is it looking shortable? That's a great question. This looks bearish, man. This looks good. You have this nice down move. That was crazy. This nice down move and this bear flag, and it looks to be breaking. Yeah, looks like a good short to me. Target would be a move down like here. Right here would be my target around 107. Yusuf says, hi again, Lon. Could you go over XRP? Absolutely. God, XRP looks wiggity whack. XRP, this is a beautiful wedge. You have this wedge and then a break of this wedge. Finally, close below. Had this head and shoulders pattern. Shoulder, head, shoulder, favoring a move down 40%. Do I think it's going to go down 40%? No. But could it go down 16% lower? Yeah. Realistically, yeah. Looks like a good short. Elon says, how did you score 11? There's that Sox trade that I was in that I held for a little bit, but then I made 9,000 something on Sox, and I made like 2K on Intel. If we take a look at my chart, the area I started to short was this gap fill, and then I just kind of maneuvered through it. Take a look at that. It's even lower now. Dang. If you really want to ask Gareth a question, though, you guys can comment on the trading. You can comment on the trading game plan videos, and Gareth read those sometimes. Donningham says, when Gareth says confirmation, what exactly is the definition if it closes above the resistance line and another day closes as well? We get that question so much. I wish I could, but unfortunately I can't answer that because that's proprietary information. But you can learn about it in the Winning Trader series. I know it's a lot of money, but it's fair if you pay attention to us, the way we explain it, the way we talk about it, you should be able to pick up on it. But I'm not allowed to explicitly define it, unfortunately. Sorry, Donegan. I wish I could. Nancy says, hey, Lon. Hey, Nancy. How's it going? Thank you for all you do. Thank you for all you do. Can you please explain Bitcoin's dominance relationship to the alts? I'm not an expert on Bitcoin dominance, to be honest. I usually just chart the specific cryptocurrencies. I'll trade both, but I don't look at that too much, so I wouldn't be the expert to answer that. Just full transparency. But I think that as Bitcoin dominance grows, the alts should fall, right? Jeffrey says, hello, in the Apex trading room, how many trades would somebody be allowed to take in a day? What are the hours spent in the trading room each day? And what type of car did you buy? Wow, okay. Yes, I did buy a new car this weekend. Okay, so let me see if I can get a picture of the car. But me in front of the deal. Okay, I think I have a picture of me in front of the car. Okay. So, first question. In the Apex trading room, how many trades would somebody be allowed to take in the trade? Unlimited. Unlimited. What are the hours spent in the trading room? We're live from 8:25 to like 11 o'clock. And then we go on a break, and then we're live from 1:30 to around 4 p.m. Okay. That's Monday through Thursday. And Fridays, we're only live in the morning unless we have an active trade open. What car did I buy? I bought a Porsche Macan 4S all-wheel drive S. There's me with hair instead of a hat on, standing in front of my car. I've never driven an EV before, and it's gotta say it's very nice. It's very pretty car. Andrea says, "What are your thoughts on Open OPEN? Okay, would you go short or long? This is a real estate company, meme stock. Seems like a meme stock. Okay. Open Door. I am not interested in trading meme stocks. I have not traded this before. It's not the type of stock that I would personally trade. It's at the lows of the chart, so of course you're favoring a move higher. The problem is that this thing could go much lower, and I'm talking about like if it fell 28%, that's a move that happened in like 3 or 4 trading days. That's not the type of action that I'm interested in. If you really want to get in, you can get in on a retrace to this trend line around 260, 250, but that's not the type of trader I am. I'm more of a conservative trader. So I'm not interested in trading something like this. Hi, Lon. How do you see VXX? Gareth is wondering why it's not popping. Your analysis. It had a nice push up today. Look at this. It had a beautiful pop up today. I think it is due for a pop. I think we're already long. Gareth is long VXX too. I think he's in the money though. So we're all pretty bullish on VXX. Bridget says, "Hi, Lawton." What's up, Bridget? How's it going? Please, can you take a look at the MTA chart? Yes, if it loads. Okay. My average is $6. This is pre-verified investing. I brought too much. I didn't space out my purchases. Should I have waited for a price to drop much more before I bought more? I can't buy now as I have way too much. The stock. Any advice? Please. Thank you for your help. Your story is so inspiring. Thank you so much. I'm glad I can help you, and I apologize. Like, this is a really tough company or position to be in. But you're talking about your average is $6, so you are quite a ways away. You're out of the money about 30%. Like for me, yeah, this is so beaten down. It's down over, 69% from its highs, right? So you could say it favors a move higher, but the problem is it's a $300-400 million company, not something I would personally trade. Of course, that's not helpful to you now. I'll tell you the level that I anticipate resistance on this stock, MTA. You had this nice upsloping trend line. And we know that the third hit favors the biggest pullback. You can look to take profit, like stop loss around 450. Or add if it goes lower, but if you can't really buy more right now, I think what you could do is just cut your losses and put a stop loss in, and people. Let me turn this into a teachable moment. Nobody likes losing. Me especially. I'm one of the most competitive guys out there. In fact, yesterday I was playing pickleball with a couple of my friends who are not as good as me, and my team was losing down pretty significantly. So I was like, all right, I think the score was like 3-8. So I turned on the Jets, and then I tried hard for a little bit, and then all of a sudden we were winning, right? Instantly. We took like 9 straight points or whatever, right? So I hate losing. I fight people all the time, not physically fight, but I get into arguments sometimes when I'm playing pickleball. Or when I'm playing ultimate frisbee, I'll be kind of physical. I won't tackle anyone, but I'll just dive for stuff, right? I literally hate losing, right? But as much as I hate losing, sometimes a loss is a win. And that's the case when you're out of the money and you can prevent further downside. For me on this stock, how I would personally handle this is I would put an order out to cover shares if it dropped, you know, probably below this gap fill here around 395. I know that's a decent bit lower, but it's 5% lower, right? So if you want to put your stop loss a little higher, that's fine. But this just protects me, protects you from further downside. I'm sorry that you're in that position. That sucks, but that's why I don't like to trade things this thin. $387 million is not something I'm interested in trading in, but that's not helpful to you right now. What is helpful for you is to know that, listen, this happens. And I know you're disappointed and I know it sucks and I know it stings, but you got to pick yourself back up and push forward because this is what the markets want. They want to knock you down. And as soon as you take a loss, you're like, oh my God, this sucks. I don't want to do this anymore. I hate this. I'm done. Yeah, that means they took your money and leave. But that's not how you do it. You adapt your strategy, you improve, and then you make the market pay you. Right. So even though this trade might not end up as a winner, and who knows, maybe this thing spikes all of a sudden, you know that at the least you're protected from more significant downside. And you know that you can pick yourself back up and try again with another trade. I'm sorry you got into this trade, Bridget. That really sucks. But, hopefully you can get out of this. And stocks keeps ripping. Wow. Sox is up to 719. Absolutely incredible. Brewski says, hi, Lon. What's up, Brewski? ENB gas levels. Thanks, brother. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I think it's going to double top. You can short it up there potentially. Or triple. This is previous top. It already pierced that yesterday. I didn't even see that. Yeah, wow. Okay, this is the problem with shorting things. All-time highs, it's hard to find a level. And as good as I am, depending on who you ask, look at this. Previous high to here. This is a shortable level up here around this $67 level. Keith says, hi, Lon. Do you see a short entry on RCL? Thank you. Let's see RCL. What Caribbean Cruise Lines? Yeah, I think it's bearish. Sideways move favors a move lower. Broke this upsloping trend line. Maybe a retrace. Maybe a 618. If you really wanted to re-enter this, you could get in around 334. I think that's a good shortable level. Or you can just wait for a retrace back up to this trend line if it goes up higher, which I'm not saying that it will or it won't, but it certainly could. Or let's say it retraces up here to like 367. That could be a good short entry. Mara says, hello. I submitted a question by getting a call. We'll be stepping away. We'll ask the question some other day. I did answer. Did you answer a question, Amar? Oh, Amar, yeah. You can just write your sorry, Amar, you can just close that 250. Oh my God, my brain is killing me. How do you ask questions to Gareth? You can comment on the trading game plan on the Verified Investing YouTube channel and ask your questions there. My brain is dying. Donegan says, what do gap fills mean? Good question. Let's take a look at Tesla. Gap fill is like this, and Tesla filled it. See, price closed the day here, and it opened up here. This is a gap. You see the gap in the chart. Price closed here and opened up down here. This is a gap. And the gap fill simply means after price is here, price gets back and fills that gap, the gap here. Simply, yeah, that's what it means. And there should be levels of support or resistance along them. Because a bunch of people keep their orders there. People that weren't able to get out on that day and then were in a world of pain, and then it comes back up, they'll just get out when they're flat or break even. Okay. Again, are we going to see it connect again? Nope. All good. Mackel says, hey, Lon, what's up? I'm thinking about starting a swing along from Ethereum. Your thoughts? I like it. I like it. Jordan says, good morning, Lon. What's up, Jordan? How's it going? You killed it in the trading room today. Great job. Thank you so much. Could you look at Walmart for me? Would love to short. Your short. Thoughts? Yeah, for me, really my shortable level is up here at this gap fill. Around 104. You can look at double top here at 105, but it's up. That's another couple percentage points away. You had this down sloping move, then it pushed up. I'm looking for more pattern. If you want to start a position, you can start at 104 and add every $10. You should be okay. Paula says, what type of trade was it? Can you walk through the trade? Yeah, how about this? I'll walk you through my day trade today. I'll show you exactly what I did on Intel. So I think my first entry on Intel was, yeah, right here. I added let's recap the trade. I entered here on a short position here. My ads were every 30-ish cents. I added here 30 cents, right? This was the gap fill. I shorted at the gap fill. I added approximately 1% higher, pushed up there. Then when it came down, I took some off in the money. I took half off in the money. Then it pushed up again, about 30 cents higher from my average, and then pulled back again. I took half off. And then when I finally gave my 1%, I took that off the table and took a win on that. Again, the level I used was right here, this beautiful gap fill. Right here. $25.92. Okay. Ernesto says, hi, Lawton. Blessings. Blessings to you as well, brother. Can you please check NFE? Sorry, I had to condense that just because we're running out of time. But if you want me to go into more detail, Paula, you can send me a message on Twitter. I'd be happy to answer it. Ernesto says, can you check NFE? This is too small of a company, guys. I don't trade companies this small. I'll chart it for you, but I have to advise you against trading this just because it's so scary and so volatile, even though, to me, in my opinion, right, I believe it looks bullish, had this beautiful downsloping trend line, failed to break above. If you can see a break above this, I could see this like going up 60%, could go double in price, but I'm not touching it. It has earnings today. And what do I say about earnings? I don't trade earnings. I do not buy into earnings. I don't sell into earnings. I don't touch things going into earnings because it's too risky. You're flipping a coin. And even though this imaginary trend line that I did draw looks so good and so bullish, I'm not interested in that. I don't trade like that. I'm more conservative, and I'm not willing to risk this thing dropping 60% just so I can make some money. Not interested. I'm sorry. Marsh says, hi, Lon. You said you got a new car. What car did you get? Love cars. Yep. Did answer that. I got the Porsche Macan EV 4S. Sear says, got out of stocks at 720. Great job. Wow. Great job. Peggy says, hi, Lon. Thank you for sharing your experience with us. Can you see what's near midterm price for Bitcoin for a long? I wouldn't enter it till like 108 is my current target, around 108. Pratik says, hi, Lon. Good to see you back. Thanks. Could you teach me which three indicators are a must-have when analyzing the charts for day trade or swing trade? I would say day trade. I'll show you exactly what I use for day trading. Number one, I use VWAP, the volume weighted average price. Okay, this is an indicator I use. I don't have enough time to teach you how to use it, but this is what I use. I use the RSI. Okay, I use the RSI as well to tell me if something favors a pullback or favors a bounce. Okay, and finally, I look at volume. I love to look at volume. You see this beautiful volume spike here. Volume. Okay, those are the three things I use. And oftentimes they work together. I got so many questions. I gotta speed this up. Sorry about this, guys. Are you using bots? Or are you sitting at the terminal all day? It'd be great to know. I'm sitting at my computer all day. Jason said Gareth covered RCL today. Wanted to know your thoughts. Yep. I did answer RCL earlier. Hood, massive movements. Yep. Let's take a look at Hood. Yeah, Robinhood, great fall. Look at this upsloping trend line. It fell so much today. Wow, what a move. I think that it likely goes here before getting a bounce. Beautiful gap, fell about 2% lower, around 105.66. Are you in crypto trade right now? Which one or why? I shorted hype. This one. I'm short on this HYPE. But I'm about to cover it, like close it out. Mar says, I hate losing too. Yep, we all do. Juan says, excuse me, Lon, do you put a hard stop on VXX? Thanks for the input. No, I don't. Wes says, the winning trader series I started in July when I was on sale, and it has already paid for itself. It is a lifelong investment in education that will pay multiples. And here's the thing, I get that, right? These courses that we sell, they're a lot of money, and I get it. And they're only worth it. They're only worth it if you are willing to put in the time it takes to learn and extract the valuable messages stored inside of them. And listen, $500, $1,000, $10,000, whatever, $100, whatever price that is for a course, like I get it. It's your hard-earned money, and you're paying money to just watch a video. But just know that unlike our services, it's really easy for me to explain the value proposition of our services. For example, a live day trading room, $400 a month, you would have made your money back in today alone. Okay, you would have made all your money back and then some into just today, right? But and that literally pays for itself. But with the course, it's not as clear. Not as obvious. Yes, you can learn how to use VWAP. Yes, you could. Yes, you can use the winning trader series to make money, but it's hard to kind of equate the investment versus the reward, the gain, to quantify it as easy as, okay, the live day trading room literally made me this much. Okay, the swing trading service literally made me this amount of money. Right? But I definitely agree. Paul says, congrats on the car. Thank you so much. Keaton says, hi, Lon. Could you please look into your magic ball and share what to expect in the Powell meme? I'm heavily into stocks, Palantir, PLTD, NVDD. I would love to see them skyrocket. By the way, great car. Awesome. Thanks so much, man. I think stocks is moving higher. Palantir did have a fall. NVIDIA is coming down. I don't know anything. I can't ask my crystal ball. And to give you any sort of foresight as to what Powell is going to say would be it's just not my style. Would be not great. That's not. I have no insight into that, unfortunately. Sorry. Brad says, or Jose says, what do you think about MicroStrategy MSTR? What would be a good buy level? MSTR is coming down, I'm assuming. Yep, huge down day in MSTR because Bitcoin's down, because the markets are down. I expect a bounce at this level, around 6% lower. I would consider entering for a day trade there. For a swing trade, probably a Pierce of 300 for a swing trade, but for a day trade or for a small short-term bounce, this $317 level should be good. Pratik says so much, man. Thank you so much, man. Brad says, hey, thinking about shorting Hood. Any thoughts on a reentry? Yeah, I would reenter it on a retrace to this trend line, probably around 115, 116, if it gives you that. What you could always do, if you're really bearish on something, just short it here, man. It's still near its all-time highs. It looks pretty great. But, and this is so important, put in a stop loss. Protect yourself. Let's say you're shorting in here. You're looking for a move to this gap fill. You're looking for 15%. Amazing. Awesome. I love the setup. But put your stop loss. Risk 5%, right? You can put your stop loss here. And that way you're risking 5% to potentially make 15% or more. You have a 1-to-3 risk to reward ratio. And it's looking good as long as you can enter at any level at any time as long as you put in a stop loss, right? Pratik says, can you teach me how to use Fibonacci levels when you have a top and bottom of any stock? For example, you're talking about this move down here. You take a fib from that high to these lows, and then you have the Fibonacci's here. You can be like, oh, it favors a pullback from the 786, and it did here. You saw it opened up at this right above that fib and fell about 5% intraday. That's an example of a quick fib. If you want to learn more about fibs, there's tons of content online. I just don't have time to tell you that, explain that right now. But yeah, guys. Okay. Ooh. All right. All right. That's we're gonna call it a show there, guys. Thank you, and I'm over time again. Who cares? Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, my name is Lawton Ho here with Verified Investing. If you enjoyed this content, first of all, thank you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for asking questions. But if you enjoyed this content, I'm going to be live tomorrow at the same time, and the day after that, and the day after that. Yes, and the day after that. Yep. From the same time, 12:30 to 1:15 to answer your questions. If you like this content, please considering liking us, liking this video, and subscribing to us on the Verified Investing YouTube channel. It really helps. If you guys have any additional questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them. Check me out on Twitter at Lawton Investing. My first name, Lawton, followed by the word investing. And you could just send me a DM and ask me whatever you want there. I don't check my DMs all the time, but I try to get to them a couple times a day. And I'll try and do my best as I'm navigating through trades, this, that, the other thing. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Best of luck in the markets, guys. Thank you so much for asking questions, and I hope to see you all tomorrow. Have a good one, guys. Take it easy. Bye-bye. Hey guys, Lawton here with Verified Investing. I'm here to talk about Kinesis.money, our sponsor. Thank you to Kinesis for sponsoring us. So Kinesis has this awesome thing called yield, in which you can literally earn gold by just performing different activities on their website and their platform. So the first way that you can earn on Kinesis.money is through their holders yield. So basically what that is if you buy some KAG or KAU from them, which is basically equivalent to gold or silver, they're one-to-one crypto equivalent of gold and silver, you're able to collect money from them, right? A percentage of all of the fees that Kinesis takes over transactions, over buying KAU, KAG, or anything else is distributed to people that hold on to KAG and KAU. So super cool. Now, the velocity spending is also really cool. So if you spend KAU or KAG, you're actually going to get a percentage of all the fees. Again, this is of all the fees that Kinesis takes relative to how much you use Kinesis. So this is things from going to the grocery store and buying things on your Kinesis card. This are things like buying KAG, KAU, sending it to someone else. And finally, it's the same thing as trading on their platform, right? If you do any of those things, you qualify for this velocity yield. The next awesome way that you can earn with Kinesis is through the refers yield. So if you refer any friends, family, you'll get a percentage of all of their transactions in perpetuity, which is super cool. They also have a partner for a program for partners and mentors. But what I really want to focus on is this KVT, the most exciting part of Kinesis for me. 20% of all of the shares of all the transaction fees that happen on Kinesis are going to be distributed to holders of the KVT crypto token. There's a limited amount of crypto supply, but that's a really cool way to actually own part of Kinesis. You can get in on the ground level and just hold those tokens and collect a nice return. Thank you so much to Kinesis for sponsoring this video, and go check out their website at kinesis.money.